Hey Vamsi, let's dive into this Scikit-learn quiz. This question asks which statements are true about the BiclusterMixin class in Scikit-learn, a popular machine learning library in Python. It's all about understanding how this class helps us analyze biclusters, groups of rows and columns that show similar patterns in a dataset. We'll need to figure out what each of the methods in the question does. Okay, so this option is saying that the _get_indices method, when given a specific bicluster label, will give us back the row and column numbers for that bicluster. Let's see if this aligns with how BiclusterMixin actually works. Here, _get_shape is supposedly telling us the dimensions, number of rows and columns, of our original data. That seems reasonable, but we need to confirm if this method always returns the size of the original, full dataset or if it could also refer to a subset if we are working with a bicluster. This option claims _get_rows. Gives us all the row indices for all biclusters in one go. It's important to check the documentation to see if this returns all rows across all biclusters or if it only focuses on one bicluster at a time based on the input. The _get_data method is supposed to give us the actual data within a specific bicluster as a smaller matrix. This is a good candidate. Let's check if it aligns with the actual functionality of BiclusterMixin. Great, now that we've explored each option, it's time to select the correct ones based on our understanding of BiclusterMixin. Remember, careful review of the documentation is key. This is the quiz question. We need to determine which statements about the BiclusterMixin class in the Scikit-learn library are correct. BiclusterMixin is a helpful tool for working with biclustering algorithms, which group both rows and columns of data simultaneously. This option asks about the _get_data method. Does this method return the entire dataset or just a portion? Let's find out. This statement is about the _get_shape method. It asks whether the method gives the dimensions of the entire dataset before biclustering or perhaps only the bicluster's dimensions. We need to examine this carefully. This instruction tells us that multiple options from the quiz question may be correct. We must carefully consider each choice to select all the accurate ones. This is a multiple-choice question, designed to test your understanding of the BiclusterMixin class in Scikit-learn. It presents 4 statements about the class's methods and asks you to identify the true ones. This sets the stage for evaluating your knowledge of the functionality of this class within the Scikit-learn library. This is the core question of the quiz. It specifyasks to identify which statements correctly describe the behavior of the BiclusterMixin class and its associated methods following the application of a biclustering algorithm. Understanding the context of biclustering and the class's role is key to answering this question correctly. This statement describes the functionality of the _get_indices method. The method takes a _cluster_ label as input, representing a specific bicluster, and returns the row and column indices of the data points that belong to that cluster. Think of it like getting the addresses of houses within a particular neighborhood. This statement asserts that the _get_shape method returns the dimensions of the original data. However, it is important to note this may or may not be true depending on the implementation. It might instead return the shape of the biclustered data. This introduces an element of uncertainty and requires you to consult the documentation for verification. A great opportunity to test your research skills. The statement claims that the _get_rows method provides all row indices across all biclusters. However, this is generally incorrect. The _get_rows method usually returns the row indices for one specific bicluster, not all of them. This needs clarification. Think of it as the method only providing the addresses of houses in one specific neighborhood, not all neighborhoods. This statement indicates that the _get_data method extracts and returns the submatrix relevant to a specific bicluster. It's like getting only the data related to a particular neighborhood. This is a correct description of this method's role. This is simply a label indicating the area where the question is presented. It doesn't add further information to the quiz itself. Hey Vamsi, this quiz focuses on the BiclusterMixin class in the popular Sklearn library. We'll be exploring its methods and what they return. Get ready. The question asks us to identify which statements are true about the BiclusterMixin class after applying a biclustering algorithm. It tests your knowledge of the methods within the class. This sets the stage. We're given a scenario. A biclustering algorithm has already run. Now, let's examine the options to see which ones accurately describe the behavior of the BiclusterMixin methods. Option A. GETINDICES takes a cluster label, an identifier for a specific bicluster, and returns the row and column numbers that belong to that particular bicluster. This is a common and very useful functionality. Option B is supposed to provide the dimensions, rows and columns, of the data. However, it's important to note that this might refer to the original data or the resulting biclustered data. We'll need to double-check the documentation to be sure. Option C is about row indices, but the crucial detail here is only the row indices of all biclusters. This is where it might be incorrect. It's more likely that returns the rows for a single, specified bicluster. We need to verify. Option D is expected to retrieve a portion of the original data. The submatrix refers to the subset of rows and columns that make up a specific bicluster. This sounds plausible. Excellent Vamsi. We've carefully analyzed each option, and by referring to the BiclusterMixin documentation, or the code itself, we can determine which answers are correct. This is a quiz about the BiclusterMixin class in Sklearn, a popular Python library for machine learning. We'll be looking at several methods within this class and determining what each one does. It's all about understanding how to extract information from biclustering results. This statement describes the method, given as clusterlabel, which identifies a specific bicluster. This method returns the row and column numbers of the data points that belong to that bicluster. Think of it like finding all the coordinates of a specific group in a dataset. This is a core functionality of this class. The method, as the name implies, is designed to return the dimensions of the data. However, there's a bit of ambiguity here. It could refer to the original data's shape before biclustering, or perhaps it shows the shape of the data after biclustering. We need to check the documentation to be sure. This option is incorrect. Typically returns the row indices for a single asterisk, specified bicluster, not all of them at once. It's like getting the list of row numbers for one group instead of all groups. This option correctly describes. Given a bicluster label, it provides the actual data values, a submatrix or a smaller table, that belong to that specific group. It's like extracting the relevant part of the data for a particular bicluster. This simply tells us the context of this quiz. We are working within the framework of Sklearn, which provides the BiclusterMixin class. This sets the stage for understanding the methods discussed in the quiz. This is a quiz about the BiclusterMixin class in the Sklearn library, focusing on its methods. We'll explore the functionalities of several key methods within this class. Let's begin. The question asks us to identify which statements accurately reflect the behavior of the methods available in the BiclusterMixin class. This class helps us work with biclustering results in data analysis. Let's examine each statement carefully. This statement suggests that, given a bicluster label, returns the row and column numbers belonging to that bicluster. We need to check if this is correct. Here, we are checking whether gives us the dimensions, rows and columns, of the initial dataset before biclustering. It's important to verify this. This statement proposes that provides all row indices across all biclusters. We'll need to verify if this is accurate. This option indicates that returns the subset of the data corresponding to a particular bicluster. We need to determine if this is true.